Good afternoon and welcome to the talk show here in the Classic Lounge. I am with Gordon and I'm with Rob this afternoon. Now we're going to get straight into it and we're going to talk about some of the awards that some cars have won in 2024. So the first awards we're talking about is the Top Gear Awards. So the car of the year, they have decided it is the Renault 5 E-Tech. Now, I don't know if you know what that is. No? So let's have a look at a little picture.
I know it's electric.
So this is the car here. You guys will be able to see it on the screen. What do you think of that, guys?
Looks like every other car, every other modern car.
It does.
Design seems to not really be forthright anymore, but it just looks like a boring car.
Yeah, I think as well, because you've got a Renault Wind, haven't you? How does that compare to this?
Compared to your Wind?
There is no comparison.
No.
There is no comparison.
You love your Renault Wind, don't you?
I do. And it's quite funny that the amount of people that see that car and laugh about that car, probably because of me having it as well. And the reason I got it, I saw one of my customers had one. We bought a Jensen 541 from her. She said, "I bet you don't know what this is." And I didn't know what it was. And a lot of people I talk to don't know what it is, never seen it before. But where I live, to get here in the morning, it's very, very, very tight roadwise. Normally, if you bring a normal car, you normally arrive at work without any wing mirrors. So I bought it and I absolutely love it. It's a tin top. It's got a Ferrari style opening tin top, so it disappears into the boot. It's a bit like a smart car when it comes to room. You get inside it and you suddenly think you're in a massive room, right? Where the car's only about 4 foot long. No, I love it. I think it's brilliant.
So you do like previous Renaults, but not this one?
The new one.
Yeah, I mean, going right back, I mean, we had, when we were a lot younger, we had Renault 19s and we had the convertible, the convertible Renaults and going back to the Renault 5s and all that. Yeah, brilliant. I love them and love the Renault 5 turbos and everything today.
But not the E-Tech.
No.
But Top Gear does seem to like it. So there you go. The next thing that Top Gear have decided is the Retro Hero of the Year, Electrogenic.
So I think you'll quite like this one. So Electrogenic are a company who convert classic cars to EVs.
Right.
So we've obviously had some experience with seeing that with the Mini.
Yeah.
So they, as part of the kind of awards process, they converted a classic Mini to an electric Mini over a couple of days.
Okay.
A couple of days?
A couple of days, yeah. So they've
Wowee.
developed a powertrain that can just kind of old one out, new one in, and done. But I don't know what your thoughts are on, because I know as a generalisation, it's kind of frowned upon, isn't it?
Well, I think the way the world is going, which is hopefully the right way, getting a lot greener, and you can't, as a personal preference, go, well, I don't like it. If you like the style of the old cars, just going back to the previous car, the car's got no style. But when you're talking about a Mini or a lot of these cars, they're converting XKs, they're doing all that sort of thing. It's got to happen, right?
Yeah.
And like the sustainable fuel,
room
for everything, and it's got to happen. Where I think as I understand, where the problems come is historic vehicles. So with historic vehicles, you are ticking a box to say you have an historic vehicle. And one of the questions is, has it been modified? And you say, no, it hasn't been modified. Obviously, you can't say that if you've taken the engine out and the electric.
A really good point.
Then you lose all your rights to free tax.
Yes,
and so on. But it's going to happen. It is definitely going to happen.
So it's interesting, like you said, where you get the style and the look of the classic, but I guess the modern driving experience.
Well, that's what I really love about a classic car is the look of it. Like you just don't get cars that are made as beautifully as classic cars are.
But people have been doing other things for lots and lots of years. We've been putting power steering on to assist people that struggle with steering. We put resto mods. They put bigger engines in classic cars. So people have personalised these cars for a long, long time to make sure that they're enjoying what they're driving.
So I guess this is just the next evolution of that, I suppose.
Every time I buy a classic car, I always, when there's something to restore, I always do think, wouldn't it be nice? We do Jensen 541s. I'd love to do a convertible, and the roof comes off so easily. It's fiberglass. It would be such an easy thing to do. But then the purists, and I am a purist a little bit with cars. I think to myself, I shouldn't really interfere with it. I've got a big American V8 over there. Every time something comes in where there's an engine problem, I think, could I shoehorn that V8 in? You know, that sort of thing. But no, I think there's room for everything.
Yeah. So moving on to the next awards. So we've got the Car Dealer Magazine Awards. Now, I'm not sure how you're going to feel about this, but the used car of the year is the trusty Nissan Qashqai. Although it wasn't too trusty for me because mine broke.
I know lots of people who's broke.
But I do think...
This is it. This version.
Yeah, and I do think they are a good... If I say shop and trolley, they are a good shop and trolley, really, aren't they? You know, for the family, you know, putting your children in, going to the shops, all that sort of thing. Yeah, they're fine. You know, then I wouldn't buy one. Well, they're not. That's just like the first car you showed us again. Was not really. You know,
they
what's the difference?
Similar.
Yeah, they do.
Very similar.
It's nothing to kind of write home about,
Yeah,
is it? It's not like
No.
any type of. You wouldn't look twice at it.
Yeah.
Would you?
No.
If it was a brand new car parked in a supermarket car park.
I've looked at it 3 times now and I still don't like it.
Well, I can't remember. I think it was every
notice.
17 seconds, was it? One comes
Yes,
off the production
17
line.
seconds.
So there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? 17 seconds, another one.
Yeah.
Another one.
Another one.
Qashqai looks the same.
Okay, and the next one, I think you're going to like this one, Rob. So, used luxury car of the year, Land Rover Defender.
I'm guessing it's the new Defenders, not the old ones.
I don't have a picture of that, but that's okay because you guys know what it looks like.
Yeah, I guess it's the new ones. I don't have much experience with the new ones, to be fair, but I'm sure they're very nice.
Well, I just love the brand. I mean,
Yes.
so I never ever wanted a 4-wheel drive. A friend of mine went to Greece. He was going to take his car with him, and then found that the import duty was nearly as high as what the car's worth was. So this was about a week before he went. He said, "Oh, you're going to have to buy my Range Rover from me." Last thing I ever wanted.
Yeah.
I bought it, and I've had a Range Rover ever since. And I just absolutely love them. I love the brand. I like the Defender. I like the style of the Defender. You know, it's gone away from the old bone shaker.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
but it is,
The
and I like
military
them
style.
as well.
Yeah.
You know, as you know, Craig's
Yeah.
very passionate about
Yeah.
that ilk of Land Rover.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
that's not for me. But I can't think of anything better than the brand, really. Apart from they're now putting the road fund licence up to literally being unaffordable.
Oh no.
So you know, I'll still keep it though.
Yeah.
Just finishing up on all these awards. Many years ago, I went to a garage in Needham Market, just down the road, and I bought a Mitsubishi Charisma. And we looked at this and we thought, oh, it's really nice. And we bought a wood kit for it, which was stick on veneer, and the whole lot was £12,000, I think it was, when we bought it. And I got home that night, and Top Gear came on, and all the awards. And the worst car of the year was a Mitsubishi Charisma.
Oh no.
And that car, I kept the longest of any car I've ever owned.
Really?
It was absolutely brilliant. I worked in France at the time, so I used to drive it to France. I'd only drive it back when it needed MOTs. It never let me down. And at the end of its life with me, I sold it to my sister, and she had it for about another 7 years. And it's probably still going today. So that was voted the worst car of the year.
But still better.
Still better than the two
Yeah.
we looked at earlier.
So moving on to stuff that's a little bit more closer to home, I think. So the Royal Automobile Club Historic Awards, okay. So Restoration of the Year, we've got a double winner. Here it is, of these two beautiful cars. So a double winner of a 1927 Bentley 3-litre boat tail speed model and
You'll like that
a
one.
1939 ERA E-Type GP2.
Beautiful, both of them.
And this is
aren't
the
they?
first time, I believe, that 2 cars have won. So I think
Wow.
there were 3 finalists and the judges couldn't pick between the 2 of them, so both cars won.
I'm not surprised, they are both stunning.
Yeah.
Well, going back to what we were discussing earlier about what you actually do with cars, we have got an XK120, and the body is really bad. So I have to and fro with that car that I'm going to make a new aluminium body, keeping it as it should be. But the truth of it is, as restorers and in restoring for myself, even the work we've done now has outpriced us to make it a saleable vehicle. Okay, so I looked at another company, and they make very, very similar bodies to the ERA, which is like the 20s, 30s style race body. They do a two-seater. It's based a bit on the Bentley. It's a boat tail, but not a sharp boat tail.
Yeah.
So we're talking to them at the moment. So yeah, who knows? But those cars are cars.
You can see why
they're
they won.
proper. And if you look at that, 2 winners, 2 totally different.
Yeah.
What's going to happen in 50 years' time when you put a Qashqai beside the Renault?
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
they're going to look nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is incredible, and you can see the craftsmanship that's gone into it as well.
Yeah.
Really can. Okay, so the next one is the International Historic Motoring Awards. Now, this is the car of the year. Now, this actually won the concourse as well. So here we go. So it is the car of the year, the 1934 Bugatti Type 59. What do you think?
That's beautiful.
And this is preservation, not
Yeah.
restoration.
So
Yes,
it's
yeah.
completely unrestored.
Yeah.
I think this paintwork is from 1937.
Yeah. Well, Bugatti, I mean, you know, there's so many people who've designed other cars, what we just talked about, the ERAs and all this sort of thing. They're all that cycle wing type,
Yeah.
you know, 1 or 2 seater. I mean, Bugatti is just so much style, so much elegance. The people who used to get them in the 20s, you know, they were elegant. They're very, very expensive, you know, but they're gorgeous, aren't they, you know?
And this was the first preservation car to win Pebble Beach.
Yeah, the Concourse
Right,
of Elegance.
okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Concourse of Elegance.
So yeah.
Well, I
very
think
nice
if
car.
you manage to get your car at Pebble Beach anyway, you're a winner.
Yeah.
And then if you manage to pick something up like that, then you've got the best of the best, haven't you?
Yeah. And
Who
another
owns
award.
it? Do we know who owns it?
Yeah, so it's a
This
gentleman
guy.
called Fritz Bacard. I don't know if I've said his name right.
And so that's him and his daughters, I believe, in the photo.
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure, but the name rings a bell with a museum,
Right. Okay.
a car museum. But I don't know whether that's right or not or wrong. Somebody will tell me that's
Yeah.
wrong, or tell me that's right.
From the restoration side of Bridge Classic Cars to the competition side. So on Tuesday, someone was very lucky and won our 1971 Mini Cooper S Mark III. And somebody else also won the gorgeous wine, the box of 12 bottles of Chateau Canon. So take a little look at this.
had
Okay, so
4
this
clears
is
now.
for the Chateau Canon wine. Good luck, everyone. I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1. Number 2028. Oh, but we do have a winner, yeah. 2028, Andrew McKnight. Andrew McKnight, congratulations. You have just won yourself some wonderful wine, and I'm really quite jealous of that. This is a live draw for our 1971 Mini Cooper S Mark III. Good luck, everyone. I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1. Number 4,855. 4,855, we have a winner, and it is Jeff Hall. Jeff Hall, congratulations. You have just won yourself a wonderful Mini Cooper S.
Hello,
Hello, is that Jeff Hall?
speaking.
Hello, Jeff. It's Molly calling from Bridge Classic Cars.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I'm just calling you, Jeff, because we have just done the live draw for our Mini Cooper S, and I'm very
Yes.
excited to tell you that you are the lucky winner.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. Amazing.
Congratulations! From one award to another, now we're going to talk about the National Motor Museum at Bewley because they won the award for the best museum and collection from what awards company was it, Rob?
The International Historic Awards.
The International Historic Awards, and we absolutely love it down at Bewley. We had an amazing day there when we went down to the Autojumble, the International Autojumble. We had a brilliant time, and we actually saw the Slug when we went down there, didn't we?
Yeah, so it's the 1,000 horsepower Sunbeam that the team at Bewley are restoring. So it was the first car to go over 200 miles per hour, and they did it in 1927.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and we were watching the old archive footage that the museum sent us earlier, and Nick, he said in different words, but he basically said the guy who drove it, think of how brave
He must have
Yeah.
he
been.
had to
Or
have been,
stupid.
or stupid on a beach in 1927 going 200 miles an hour that no one had ever done before.
He must have just been thinking, I'm actually making history here. Like, I'm going to be the first person who's gone
and
this
we are
fast.
still talking about him.
Exactly, exactly.
But so the restoration is coming on quite well. So I think they're going to do the first fire up next year, I believe, and then they want to go back to Daytona Beach in 2026 to mark the anniversary and do 200 miles an hour again.
That is so cool.
So, yeah,
And who's driving it?
Well, they've sort of said we can go and film it, so I'm assuming Molly.
No, we're not going to. Molly will drive.
I'm assuming Molly.
I'll be there.
Have you seen her
I
drive a
will be
Mini?
there.
So I think it'll be really cool. It's, all of those years later to see it in the place where it did it. Although I think they were saying it might be a different part of the beach because there's now turtles there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay, keep the turtles safe.
yeah.
But have you ever been to the National Motor Museum, Gordon?
Not Bewley, no. I don't know why I haven't been either, being a petrol head. I've been to Gaydon, and I've been to Gaydon a few times, because Gaydon obviously helped us with our Riley.
Oh, yeah.
In a big way. I mean, because that is only one of 3 cars. Ours is the prototype, but we just had a pile of bits, so we didn't even know what it looked like. So we contacted Gaydon, and they said, come along and have a look at it. And what we'll do is we'll cordon it off for a whole day, and you can do whatever you want with it. So we could climb underneath it. We could lift the bonnet is the seat area. We could lift all of that. So they didn't come anywhere near us all day. We were just left to our own devices. And I think we took something like over 2,000 pictures. And the first thing we did on the car, we hadn't got a picture of.
Oh no!
We sit there looking for it. Well, it wasn't. But going back to your 200 mile an hour car, people have been pushing those boundaries. It's going a bit like we were, the V8s and all this sort of thing. But I remember a guy who built in his cellar a aero engine.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it out the cellar, so he built it in there. Then he had to dismantle it to get it out, and then he put it in a Ford Popular, and it had a propeller on. And he fired it up, and I think it stopped after it went across a field and through 3 wooden picket fences.
Oh
and
my word.
And I think it stopped because it ran out of fuel.
Yeah.
Not that he could stop it. So there's always been these people around doing that.
crazy.
But go back to the 1920s and 30s, going around the Brooklyn tracks and all this sort of thing. They were very, very unstable car on very, very skinny wheels.
Yeah.
And they were true racing drivers. We see what they do today.
Yeah.
It's tremendously high speed.
Yeah.
But they, in their own rights, they weren't going so fast, but it was probably a lot more dangerous. And people were killed every year.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Every year, race drivers.
And I guess as well, they probably didn't have as many safety precautions as we do now.
Probably none. Very, very few.
Well, I think because at the National Motor Museum, they've got a whole land speed record section. So
Yeah.
we spent a bit of time in there, and to see all of the evolutions, from the Sunbeam all the way up, it's a really good
cool
exhibit to see.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the new year we'll have some footage of the engine.
The ride is what, 1905?
Yeah.
Before 1905, early 1900s, there was electric vehicles.
Yes. Again,
Queen Alexandra's milk float.
Yes, 1901, I believe that was, wasn't it? That's at the National Motor Museum. So there's lots of stuff. Because when we were there, we were talking, everyone's saying how EVs are a new thing.
Yeah.
This is from 1901, and it's an electric car.
Since I was a little boy, I'm heading up the late 60s, and since I was a little boy, they've always been talking about electric vehicles, but they were talking about batteries the size of houses.
Yeah.
To be able to power and not being able to charge and not be able to do this and that. And even with the modern vehicles, we're going to see batteries shrink.
Yes.
And as we know, distances go a lot longer. And until that happens, for me, electric vehicles are still something I just don't want to entertain. I'm quite happy with what I've got, but I fully understand what they're here. And they should be here.
And if you compare it to mobile phones, think of how big
they were,
and now they're so small. And I think in an average iPhone, there's more computer power than what sent us to the moon.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think that evolution's going to come in EVs as well, I think.
It's incredible. You'll be quite happy to hear this, Gordon, but on one of our TikToks, somebody actually said, is this a little private museum that they didn't know about, talking about the Classic Lounge, because of all of the amazing classic cars that we've got here in here at the moment?
Everybody that comes here and they come across to the workshops. Normally, we'll say, do you want to have a look across the road? And they walk in. They don't expect to see what they see. I don't. 2 years ago, I didn't expect to see this. But now here we are. Really, really nice. A nice membership club with all these beautiful cars. What more do we want, really? What more do I want? Coming up to retirement.
With us being really good friends with Bewley, they have been kind enough to give us some gifts for our Christmas Advent calendar, which is very exciting. And here's a little bit more information about it right now. Bridge Classic Cars want to give back to you this Christmas with our Christmas Advent Calendar competition. It's completely free to enter. You enter once and then you are automatically put into every draw for the remaining days of Advent. Prizes will include things such as a site credit, limited edition prints and tickets to the National Motor Museum and many, many other goodies. If you want to enter for free for our Christmas Advent Calendar competition, then head to the Bridge Classic Cars competitions website and sign up today. Good luck and Merry Christmas. So this brings us to the end of our talk show this week, but next week is going to be quite a special one. It's going to be all about our mince pie drive, where we're going to go around some care homes and show them some beautiful classic cars and deliver some delicious mince pies.
I'd love to come on that. The mince pies.
The mince pies especially.
Yeah.
So we look forward to sharing that with you. Thank you so much.